That's okay, Jennifer. Make that sound as best you can. Oh, you haven't. I'm sorry. Hello, welcome to Movie Baiters with the Farx Brothers. I remember who hosts this show. I'm Kyle.
I'm Kirk.
And this week we have Alex Suszko and Jennifer Prettyman, singular man.
Prettyman.
Because I put Prettyman in.
It's always Prettyman or
Was it pronounced Prettyman, but it's spelled
name.
Prettyman?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, when I talked to texted it, then I did it correctly. But if I want to talk to text it correctly, I have to mispronounce it. Do you have that in your life?
You know, whatever makes you happy. It doesn't really matter to me.
The funny way I thought of you two introducing each other was that it would be you two introducing each other instead of introducing yourselves. So to do this correctly, the woman should go first. Therefore, Alex, you should introduce Jennifer, and then Jennifer, you'll introduce Alex. And this is a debate podcast. We are not a movie review podcast. We're purposely trying to disagree. We are all upper Midwest filmmakers. That's usually the case. Sometimes some of my other brothers are not upper Midwest filmmakers. Alex, you ready?
On today's show, we have a accomplished actress and producer whose best roles have been in my films. And she's been acting for...
Way to be humble.
Is that because of you or because of her? Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your minute. You'll get time back.
It's just the collaborative effort. Just
1 + 1 equals more than 2.
And yeah, she's been acting for some time, been in the film industry for some time, not too long though. And
the right amount of time.
Right.
The middle bear for Goldilocks.
Yeah, she's been doing some stuff in Minnesota for a while, but was in LA before and has some neat stories from back in the day. And yeah, welcome Jennifer.
That was good. That was good.
Great, yeah.
And she was in a gang, but we'll save that for later.
That's quite an introduction, Alex.
Can you top it, Jennifer?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I believe in you.
Okay, well, I will introduce Alex Suszko, a writer, director, producer, and everything else. Because, you know, when he makes a film, it's pretty much all Alex. It's an Alex Suszko film, right? Isn't that how you always describe your films? Unlike any others. And I'm very happy to collaborate with you on those. We've worked together quite a bit, and we continue to work, and we continue to collaborate and also disagree. So this podcast will be great.
Yeah.
That was fantastic. So, Kirk, how do you know Jennifer and Alex? Where did you meet them? How did you meet them? When did you meet them?
I can't really pinpoint which short film it was. But
you don't remember?
No,
how dare you?
It was The Wagon Wheel.
Oh, right. The Wagon Wheel of Alan Johnson. Yes, I remember now.
Wait, was that the one that was also a video game?
No.
Okay, that was a Z-Fest, right? I saw it.
It was a Z-Fest,
Okay.
yeah, a few years ago. Mm-hmm.
Z-Fest is a film festival in the upper Midwest where people make I don't know, some people could be a first-time listener. Tell us about The Wagon Wheel, Jennifer.
I produced The Wagon Wheel. Alan Johnson asked me if I would come aboard and help him make this film for Z-Fest.
What was it about? Because I misremembered it, honestly. I thought it was a video game. I thought it was the Oregon Trail movie that was in a Z-Fest one year.
It surrounds a young woman who is going through some struggles in her life, and she ends up in this motel, actually. And we had a difficult time finding that motel. Krista Rose was in it, and she actually brought you on, Kirk.
Yes, to do sound.
Because, yeah, we were putting it all together, and she was like, oh, Kirk will be great. And so, yeah, we got you involved in
Was
that.
he?
You can be honest.
Was he great?
Was Kirk, like, you have a standard of good, I assume, and then did he surpass that by being great?
Yes, he was definitely great. He was fantastic. Actually, it was a fantastic crew.
Who on the crew do you remember, Kirk, and why were they special?
I remember Zach Rivers. I remember Noah Gunderson. He was on there, right? Wasn't on there? Wow.
Sorry, Noah.
My memory
Spencer
is
Clover
really bad.
is rolling in his grave right now. He's alive.
Jeff Villers
Oh,
was our
right,
gaffer.
right.
He brought the whole Villers truck. Let's roll. Yeah.
Can you, to bring it back to the broader audience, Jennifer, tell me what a producer does? Obviously, you know me as a producer. producer, but I don't think that general audiences understand what a producer is. And I think everyone's definition of what a producer is in the filmmaking community could be broadly different. So I'm curious for yours.
Well, and it's also broadly different depending on the film and the budget and the amount of people you have involved. So like, obviously a lot of the short films that we do, or even features, are, I would say the producer does 5, 6 different roles. You know, you put the whole thing together. I mean, when I produce a film, I usually end up helping cast it. I help with, you know, catering. I help, you know, with locations. I mean, it's not like when you're on a big budget production and there's like 6 producers and 5 executive producers, 5 to 10 people in the camera department and whatever. I mean, when you're on a shoestring budget, I mean, a producer does a lot. As you know, Kyle, right?
Producers do actual work on indies versus on large corporation type movies where there could be a stratification of different producerial duties. That sounded corporate. I think corporate would hire me on that. Thank you for that definition. Alex, what's your definition of a producer as a writer-director who titles his films and Alex Suszko film? Do you say film with the F word?
Yeah.
Full F word. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I think that producer is a strictly non-creative role, and anytime they get involved, the movie suffers.
Wow.
I totally
anytime
fucking disagree with you, and let's start baiting hard in your interview section, motherfucker. Let's make this episode exciting.
No, keep going. Gets involved creatively.
No, I understand what you said.
Obviously, they got to get involved with the movie.
But wait, I've been producer on your films, including the one we're working on right now, and I do have some input creatively.
No, we just had a fight about how you didn't have any input. So
cool. What was that like? We've had. I don't know if you know, but the Farx Brothers have fought before, and so we're always interested to get
another perspective on other people's fight.
Yeah, how to
other
fight better, right?
Drama. Yeah.
Well, this is a trauma podcast.
No, drama.
Oh, trauma and drama. I mean, trauma leads to drama. Sorry.
Could be some trauma.
I think anybody can suggest ideas.
Best idea can come from anywhere. You believe in that?
Maybe not the best, but a good idea can come from anywhere. People need to understand their roles. The director is the one who has the final creative say. And it's when producers start coming in and being like, no, we got to do it this way. We got to do it that way. You know, that you're infringing on the role of the director.
You're arguing for director is king.
Yeah.
I agree in a final decision maker, but that I don't think precludes the opportunity for other people to participate creatively, including people who title themselves producer. I can tell you that I participate creatively on almost everything I am a producer of. Not the thing I helped work on with you. I don't even remember my title on that, but
I think it was producer.
Really? Oh, I shouldn't have been. Anyways, I wasn't there much.
I don't know what it was. The different crew positions all have their areas of expertise. So a cinematographer knows what a good looking shot looks like. And so they can certainly offer their ideas on how you might light or compose a certain shot, you know, and they might come up with something good. And editors the same way. Producer to me is more focused on the thing needs to get done and they need to find the people to be able to get it done. Not necessarily they're involved in all of the creative decision making and the idea outlines and, you know, figuring out what to cut from the script, stuff like that. It just seems to me like...
But good idea can come from anywhere?
You know, there's been times where a producer has suggested something that I've considered.
How mentry of you.
No, I mean, there's been times where they've suggested something that I've gone with. I just...
But you rather them not make any creative input?
No, I just think that they need to know their place.
So stay in your lane kind of thing.
Yes.
Wait, what did you say? Stay in your lane?
Yeah.
Stay in your lane, know your place. Jennifer, how would you characterize the disagreement you guys had within the level of care and comfort you have towards the delicacy of the situation? Like, was it a disagreement about something related to production, something related to creative? To me, it's all creative, so I'm on your side against Alex going forward.
You're talking about this most recent project?
The most recent one.
The most recent project I am acting in. Ooh. And so I had some opinions about my character and how she should look and carry herself. So I feel that as a producer and actress in the film that I do have a right to bring some of these things forward, which I have done. I mean, anything that I've produced, I've had creative input on. So
I'm going to try to comedian on Donald Trump, you guys. So what did you disagree on? Because, yeah, the comedians are the ones who ask him real questions.
Yeah, but we don't need to bring politics in here.
I don't want to date this podcast. Remember this. For our linear listeners, they're always like,
All
when
right.
was this recorded?
The disagreements wouldn't make sense if you haven't seen the movie. They're
Okay.
very specific creative decisions that you would need to look at and be like, oh, okay, yeah, I can see where you would fight over that. But without seeing it, it'd just be like, oh, I don't understand why this was a big problem.
Jennifer's comments inspired a different line of questioning, which would be, how do you delineate between your actor hat and your producer hat when you're doing both things in a production?
on so many films that I've done, I've played so many different roles. You know, I've worn so many hats. So it isn't really hard. I mean, I've done films where I've written, directed, starred in, produced, everything. When I'm acting and producing, when somebody else is directing and it's an Alex Suszko film, I'm
going to dog you for that too, dog.
I'm going to have input into what I'm creating as a producer and as a character. But I just would like to add that we do come to an agreement and it all works out in the end. But yeah, there's a little bit of a...
Elizabeth Efteland, director and actor in multiple JK productions, said to us once that she thought that disagreements were a sign that people were engaged, therefore they are a good thing. So I don't come at this from the perspective of the disagreement being a bad thing, although we are in the upper Midwest, so people don't like disagreements. But I'm going to pivot back to and dig in. You've written and directed things. You're working on something where you're an actor producer. Where do you mentally draw a line between, well, this is something that a writer director gets to choose, and this is something that either an actor or a producer, which are two separate jobs, choose?
No, it just really depends on the production. Everything is different. I don't think that question can really be answered.
It depends, is what you're saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about Dola. Can you guys describe your feature film Dola that you both worked on? Did I pronounce it correctly? Dowla? Dola?
Dolwa.
Dola?
Dalwa.
Dalwa.
Yeah.
Oh, Dalwa. Dolwa.
WA, yeah.
Oh, I have, did you know that, Kirk?
Yeah, only because I watched.
You watched it?
No, I didn't watch it. Only because I heard Alex say in his Force PTO series. Yeah, I heard you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Dolwa.
Dalwa, yeah.
Dolwa. And we're going to keep this in. People will know that I'm not perfect. Please describe...
Of course, I don't think anybody thought you were perfect.
Only me. They were like, they're questioning if other people might be, but not me. Could you guys describe what that movie is about, and then we'll come back and ask you what you did on it?
The movie is about the lives of these three women, all from different generations, whose lives sort of begin to intersect as this mysterious planet is passing by Earth. A little more detailed than that, one of the three women is a young, recent college grad who's trying to be an actress. The next woman is a struggling single mom of one son and trying to manage that situation.
And that was me.
That was Jennifer.
You were a single mom?
Why is that so shocking to you, Kyle?
Well, because she was telling me about we all sang karaoke last night, and she was telling me about a project where she played a single mom in something. The perception of the child changed, so it was possible she maybe got to play other shades of the same character. She wouldn't tell me because I have to see the project. What was that, Jennifer? I'm trying to break up Alex. What was the name of that project?
I wasn't going for that long. I just had one more character to talk about.
You totally. You better let him get back to his.
Okay, yeah.
Because he's going to get confused.
But that was a separate project from the one we're talking about. Is that correct?
That's a different.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm just. I want you to know I'm listening.
And then the last main character is a senior woman who's trying to deal with the fact that her daughters don't really like her anymore or want to take care of her.
Are daughters the first ones, either of the first two generations we heard about?
No.
So they're all separate from each other.
Yeah, they don't know each other. The three main characters, they've never met. They've never met physically. Transcendentally, arguably, they have. Physically, they haven't.
Jennifer, what did you do in this movie? How'd you get involved with this? I know you weren't just an actress, not to say that just acting, but.
Well, I actually started out as just an actress in it. I auditioned. I went to audition and then never actually auditioned, but he cast me anyway.
What? Explain that.
Yeah, how did that
please.
happen?
Yeah,
Sounds
you're a great
interesting.
host. I'll tell you enough lately. Hey,
Thanks.
hey, right here, buddy.
Go ahead, Alex. Explain that one.
Yeah, so I was holding auditions unofficially at the Guthrie.
What?
I wasn't allowed to, but it sounded official if I sent like to people like we're having auditions at the Guthrie.
So what did you do when people
Baller.
showed up and they couldn't get into the Guthrie to audition?
Oh, I got in, but I couldn't find him anywhere.
Well, I was tucked in like a back corner that's isolated from where everybody else is.
Can you explain what the Guthrie is to any Philistine that is unfamiliar with high-end theater in the beautiful city of Minneapolis?
It's a high-end theater.
Sorry.
They put on some.
It's
good-
also like a
good
art
productions.
museum, right? Can we say it's an art museum? It's like a tourist destination.
Yeah,
to look
yeah.
at
I mean,
stuff.
it's got its own unique architecture and stuff. It's a really cool building, actually. They don't like me there, but
I went on a date there once. It wasn't very good. Not with my wife. Over a decade ago.
You're never going to get through what
Yeah,
you're
it's
talking
a-
about.
I'm
You
waiting
do
for him.
realize that, right?
This is a bait. You got to establish your dominance, Alex.
I
Like you did last night when you were telling me about how you're the ultimate arbiter of what is good and creative. Continue.
yeah. I mean, so anyway, I officially held auditions there, but I wasn't allowed to technically.
From the Guthrie's perspective, you did not officially hold these auditions.
Correct.
But from the perspective of the people who officially became involved in the project, you did.
Yeah. And so she was one of the ladies who was interested in the role. And so then she showed up and found me at some point.
Took a
And-
while.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, let's audition. And she was like, nah, I can't because I've had a personal tragedy and I got to go.
Whoa. Okay.
And I'm like,
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Well, I had a lot going on in my life, I'm just going to say. And I only had a short frame of time that I could go audition. And so I got there on time and everything, but I couldn't find him anywhere in there. And I was going all over the place. I was asking people. I didn't know it was like a secret. I thought it was more official because he made it sound official. And they were actually holding auditions for a production for a little bit of time. I waited there and she's like, yeah, I think you're in the right place. And I'm like, and I'm looking at, I'm like, nope, this isn't it. I eventually found him. And at that point I had to go. I actually had to fly to LA in a day or two. And I just had so much shit going on. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't have time to audition for this right now. And I had to go.
How long had this been? Like, are we talking like 20 minutes or an hour? Or do you remember?
I mean, I have to say I was looking for you for like a half an hour.
How dare you,
Oh.
Alex? And why
I
are you
don't
so
know.
committed, Jennifer?
I don't know if it was that long.
Well, I was there for half an hour. I only had like 40 minutes.
Yeah.
So at the point where we finally got together, I didn't have time to audition. And I was just like, you know what? I'm over this and I have a lot of shit going on. So sorry.
Oh, man.
And that
I'm
was
glad
it.
you guys are friends now.
Yeah, right.
Well,
How long ago was
ended,
this?
I ended up casting her. So
No, I'm aware of that.
Made it. It's just smoothed everything out.
Is that what smoothed it out, Jennifer?
He liked my my frustration and
Non-edition,
whole-
edition. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I think my non-audition edition got me the part.
Yeah, because she was very frazzled and out of her senses, and I'm like, oh, this.
Yeah, you need that in that movie.
Yeah,
That's the
so,
character.
Captured it perfectly. Yeah.
How long ago was this? This was pre-COVID?
Yes.
Yeah, this was, well, gosh, I mean, we started filming in 2019.
2019. This was
the
2019,
end, in the fall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you have to finish some during COVID?
Yeah.
Oh my
We
gosh.
shot through COVID. Yep.
How many days did you shoot on this feature? How long is it? So how many minutes and then how many days? You know. I know you know.
The film is like 110 minutes long.
Jeez, that's almost 2 hours.
Yeah.
That
Wow,
doesn't
all
fit
right.
in Pete Davidson's short-ass movie.
I don't know. I don't.
That's as
understand the
long as
reference.
Smile is.
Yes.
It's a sketch from SNL when he hosted. But so it's 110 minutes. How many days did you shoot for?
Oh, who remembers? I don't know. It was
So we shot
for like a year and a half.
for a year, but we had to take 5 or 6 months off because of COVID. And
What's
then
COVID?
of course, and then when we came back, we had to do the whole
Hoax.
mask thing and all of that. But we got it done. How many shoot dates? I could look back and actually get you that number, but off the top of my head.
We're not like a journalism podcast. We're a debate podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Was it more than like 30 days on set shooting? Days?
No.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm a numbers
Well,
guy.
it was for me.
Yeah, of course.
For her, it wasn't.
But like production days to minutes, like how many minutes are you doing a day? On big movies, they can afford to do 2 or 3 minutes a day. But like on indies, you got to do like 4 to 8 minutes. You know what I mean? So then like when you start doing that math, it's like, wow, that's like weeks of people's time and not congruent. I'm emotionally invested having made things.
It was a year that we filmed.
Okay, a year.
A year's worth of time.
Okay, so then you guys have evolved.
But actually only 6 months because the other months we didn't
You're taking
film
out
because
the
of
5
COVID.
pause.
Yes.
Because of this thing called COVIDian that apparently happened. No, that's not a statement on COVID.
Yeah.
I just like
I
saying
don't
it
want
wrong.
to debate whether or not COVID happened.
No, obviously COVID happened. I'm not debating whether or not it happened. I'm just asserting that it's, I was going to ask, how did you evolve your relationship from Dalwa to the next thing? And was the next thing the interview show?
Oh,
or was
hold
it
on.
Forced
so,
PTO? Oh,
so
sorry.
I have a little bit more. So
Okay.
I was saying
Sorry, there's a
I
plane
was an
coming, just so you
actor.
know.
I was hired as an actor. And then as shooting continued, I ended up a producer as well because I ended up helping a lot and taking on more of a role, which I often do when I work on things.
You take ownership, Jennifer. I like that about you.
I kind of do. Yeah, so I also came on as a producer as we were filming a while, and you made me a producer. It wasn't like I.
How'd you make that decision, Alex?
I didn't want to put together call sheets anymore.
You didn't have an AD, is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
you didn't want to do the work of an assistant director?
No, and she also knew a lot more people than I did. This is my first project I made returning to Minnesota.
From where?
From Milwaukee, where I went to school. And so I didn't know any of the actors. I had like no connections here, and she knew a bunch of people and was like, yeah, I can get people for this role and that role. And I'm like, all right, sweet, let's do that.
Yeah, so I took on some of the casting, the catering, finding locations, all of those things.
You were screwed without Jennifer, Alex. I just want that to be clear to you. How did you go from Dalwa to another thing after that, after Jennifer was adopted as producer? And I'm still interested to hear more about how you made the decision. Like, I know it was, I didn't want to make call sheets, and she started doing catering, casting, and all like ADing. That's what I'm hearing. Filling out the roster of a crew is hard. Everyone knows indie things. Can I ask, was the budget of this movie more than 5 figures? 5 figures being
No.
10 to 99,000. 999.
Wait, yeah, I guess when all was said and done.
Yeah, it was 5. It was 5 figures.
It was 5 figures.
Yeah.
Because that's very different than a 6-figure movie, which is still very small budget.
Yes.
Smile, which we'll talk about in part 2 and part 3, is, I believe, a $10 million movie. So that's like an 8-figure movie. And you're at 5 figures. And you're asking for the same amount of time as the first Smile.
Well, I would say the 5 figures is also might give people the wrong idea. It was 15,000, so it was.
People look at logarithmic math in these situations where, like, yeah, 15,000 is very different than 85,000, but at the end of the day, no one cares because Terrifier 1 was a $35,000 movie, and they spent more than that to make The Curse of Raven Heights. See, I was listening in the last episode.
They spent more than that to make Curse of Raven Heights?
Have you seen it?
No.
Okay.
But I know what it is.
I've seen it. I watched it in my sauna once with my former brother Nick. And we were told last week that Terrifier was made for 35 to get it greenlit. And like, how much did you think it was going to cost when you started to make Dalwa?
I didn't have a budget. I was just spending along the way, but nobody had to know that. Like the finances for the movie were really, I'm glad nobody asked any questions. Because
you wouldn't want me there is what you're saying. That's why you said you don't want to work with me again.
There is no explanation for, what was going on behind the scenes financially.
Well, let me pivot then, because I am curious about how you guys went from, I'm kind of hearing like, there was a need. How did you go from Dalwa to whatever one of your 2 shows you've got going now, either your interview show,
Film Network,
and you capitalize the M and N so that it's Minnesota.
Right.
I love that. And did that come first, or did Forced PTO come first?
Well, a lot of other things came first.
With you and Jennifer.
Yeah.
Can Jennifer tell us which came first?
Well, I mean, Dalwa was such a superiorly written film that everybody wanted to return to work with me after it was done, with the exception of a couple people.
Actually, I was ready to like kill you at a couple different points, but
Yeah,
then
but
we
you
worked it
understood.
out.
You understood how.
That's a producer for you, right? Yeah.
Well, you understood
yeah.
how good it was. So you wanted to return.
I actually loved the script so much
Okay,
that,
I'm
and
glad to hear it.
I love the script and I love the characters so much that when he sent it to me, and obviously after I started playing the role, that I was able to overlook a lot of production things and Alex things.
Oh,
Wait, so had you worked on bigger than $15,000 feature films before that? I believe you have, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So like I said, I just loved the script and the character. Very grateful to have gotten to play her.
Lovely.
But it took a long time to edit, so we didn't actually work on another project until probably after Dolva was done. And then you did Dual Tree, and I did Some Sweet Day separately. But you didn't invite me onto Dual Tree, and I invited you onto Some Sweet Day.
And I've never heard the end of that. But you know what, Alex?
I saw Dual Tree.
I feel like you were out of town or something.
I might have been doing Force PTO.
There was something.
I don't remember.
Because you know that you always invite me onto your things and I always invite you. Like, we always. So there was a reason. It wasn't that I didn't invite
Or
you.
maybe it was Water Park that I was filming at the same time.
It might have been.
Is that your second feature that's black and white and like mumblecore?
Yeah.
And I wasn't, well, you had talked to me about that. Actually, right after Dalwa, you did talk to me about Water Park.
Yeah.
And yeah, we had some, it turned out wonderful. Like, I really like it. But at the time when you were telling me about it,
Alex Suszko.
I just wasn't thinking. So anyways, yeah, that's what you did after. And I wasn't involved in that. But he did give me a special thanks just because.
You
And
keep
that
track of
was-
your credits? Sorry, go ahead, Kirk.
And Water Park, was that also a feature, or how long was it?
Yeah, that was
Wow.
70 minutes.
And you filmed that entirely at the water park?
Yes, with the exception of the final scene. Everything was shot either on the drive to the water park or at the water park in 5 days. We shot.
And you starred in that, right? It's just you and another girl?
It's
girls.
me and two.
Women. Damn
Two
it.
women, actresses.
And
yes.
two women, yeah. I really only cast myself for budgetary reasons, even though I do a good job with the role.
Wait, even though you did do a good job? Is that what you said?
Because I'm not an actor first, you know.
Oh, yeah, okay. You take stock in what you're doing first. Are you a writer first or a director first?
Director. Well, I'd say it's both. I don't like directing other people's scripts. I'm really good at directing my own.
Why do you think you're good at directing your own scripts?
My ideas and my writing is influenced by such an expansive viewership experience of cinema. I'm writing things that are taking influence from films nobody else has even heard of or seen. And so they come across very different. So while everybody understands like the main rules of how to put together a film, they know the big budget popcorn entertainment stuff, it all kind of comes out feeling the same way, comes out feeling different with my stuff because I don't want to make popcorn entertainment. I'd like to make more artsy stuff, so I'm pulling from things that nobody else has seen.
What's the difference between artsy and popcorn?
Artsy is a film made with the purposes of exploring deeper elements of the human condition, and popcorn entertainment is made to just entertain.
So Jennifer, please tell us about one of the two shows you guys have going, Force PTO.
Force PTO is a brilliant comedy series. I feel it's brilliant.
It's an Alex Suszko film. Why are you laughing so hard, Alex Suszko?
I know, I agree with you. I think you're spot on.
You see, you should have done it closer to the mic, so it was like, I think you're spot on. Click with your, sorry, that's me directing you, and I can't help myself.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah, so when he had the idea for that series, you know, he told me, oh yeah, I'm taking this road trip and I'm gonna make a show about it as I go. But he didn't really tell me to. I wasn't involved in the first two seasons. I was a part of the third season. So yeah, so the first one and then the second one was on a cruise. And then,
That was like you remembering. That was great. Thank you. Sorry, Jennifer. I don't want to throw off your rhythm. But you're in the third one, the third of the seasons, because there's multiple
Yes.
seasons of Forced PTO.
we took a road trip to Illinois to a film festival to see Dalwa. That's what that season is all about.
What film festival? Or do we have to watch the season to find out?
I'd prefer if you watched the season to find out.
I always watched parts
'Cause
of it.
I saw it, but I don't remember you saying the actual name of the festival though.
Whoa.
It was kind of a new festival. It's actually an awards thing. So it's called It's Always Late TV and Film Awards.
Oh,
Is what it's
Always
called.
Late TV and Film Awards. Is that
Yeah.
an acronym for something? Or
No.
I'm trying to do that. No. Okay. How'd you find this festival?
I was just submitting Dalwa to different places, and I think they offered a discount, and they were really new. I think it was just their first couple years. This was the first year they had actually done screenings in addition to just the award. And it's run by a really cool guy, Kevin. He's a really nice guy.
Kevin, what? Say his full name. Maybe I'll
Kevin
listen.
Edwards.
Kevin Edwards. All right.
Yeah, and he's really trying to build it, and they got a good foundation going, and he's a really nice guy. But yeah, it started out as just an awards thing. They would hand out awards to the films that were submitted. I believe this was the first year that they did screenings.
Did you enjoy yourself, Jennifer?
I did. It was a lot of fun. Alex had the whole thing set up, like where we were going to stop along the way, where we stayed. Yeah, he did all of it.
He did
I
writing.
drove,
Oh.
so I was the driver.
Well, I didn't write it.
Well, picking the spots you're going to stop is a form of writing, my friend.
The voiceover is all written after the filming. Filming
assume.
comes first. So yeah, I decide maybe where we'll stop, but as far as like the individual conversations and experiences that we have in the moment, those are all impromptu. And
Yeah, it
then
was all improv. It was all.
if they're not funny, just sort of inherently, I'll make them funny through the voiceover.
find it's a lot of dry humor for sure.
Yes.
Or-
Yeah.
Very dry.
Deadpan. Yeah.
And you also seem to hit a lot of casinos because in season 1 and 3, you guys hit up. Alex seems to hit up a casino in season 1, and then again in 3.
There is a casino in season 2 as well.
On the
the
cruise?
cruise, yeah.
Oh.
You
There's-
gamble?
There was a yeah.
What's your game?
Well, I mostly do sports betting.
On what? Sports?
Basketball, football, politics.
Because you can only recently bet on the presidential election.
No, because I use a Korean gambling site
Oh,
that
okay.
is not
And if you're on
regulated.
international waters on a cruise, who cares, right?
Yeah.
All right, okay. I like this because filmmaking is risk-taking, as is gambling. So I didn't know this about you, and I
Well, no,
enjoy it a lot.
everybody knows about the site. It's not like it's an illegal site. It's just not subject to U.S. law because it's Korean.
Exactly.
And so,
God bless the Koreans.
Nobody,
We went to war with in the 50s.
Film Network Podcast is just a podcast surrounded around local film and issues related to the film scene. I try to make it different than a lot of the other movie sort of review debate pod. Not yours. Your guys is really unique.
Oh, thank you.
There's other debate podcasts locally.
But yeah, it's more just talking about, I don't know, we did some on like what you do about political disagreements on set if they come up. And we did one on the nature of comedy and what comedy is okay to do in film
Is
these
that
days.
Tapan's?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Tapan.
You
Sorry.
hate him?
No, I said hey Tapan. I was saying hey to
thought
my
you
bro
said I hate-
Tapan. 'cause
hate Tapan. I'm like,
he and
when
I are
did that-
bro. I mean, I've given him shit on other episodes. I've given him shit when he's here. I mean, he's
So,
been
yeah,
on
s-
multiple episodes of Linear
But
Listeners.
yeah, it's just talking about more general concepts of state of the industry and in particular locally, things like that.
What are topics you'd like to cover? Advertise.
Well,
for yourself.
the plans for the next couple episodes are, one, I'm going to be talking with an acting coach about acting philosophy, what the most effective acting philosophy is, if there is one, and how you would coach around somebody who doesn't really vibe with that particular philosophy. So that's going to be the next one, I think.
Really? You didn't tell me about that one.
Yeah. So that
This
one's
is how you
coming
find
up.
out on
Oh,
this podcast.
this is how
We're
sometimes
a journalism podcast.
sometimes he'll just let me know 2 days before, like, hey, I'm gonna do this. It's like, sounds good.
And Jennifer's typically there to offer her thoughts as well, give a different perspective, because people hear me talk a lot, and so it's better to have. in
You're the
addition-
host of that show. So
Yeah.
Jennifer, you want to pitch the movie you're doing now to bring us out of part one, huh?
Yeah, I just want to talk about Filter, and that is a film that Alex wrote. Alex wrote the screenplay for that, and He and I shared in directing.
You co-directed?
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
How'd
You
that
birthed
go?
the baby together.
And I act in it as well.
Well, duh.
And so it's in post-production, it's almost finished. So basically just some sound mixing, color correction left to do. All the visual effects are done. It's going to be good. I'm
It's a
really
half-hour
excited.
pilot, right? Or is it a short film?
It's a long short film,
Okay.
which I would love to pitch.
As a series or as a proof of concept for a larger thing?
Yeah,
It's called
maybe
Filter.
maybe a proof of concept.
Wait,
for a
Filter is the thing that I was thinking of earlier that I asked you about, and then I was like, okay, that's the one. See, I knew I was listening before and yesterday.
Yeah, you had a few drinks, so it was
No,
a little,
I never
it was a
drink.
little
That's
different.
not-
It was a little different from what you described, but that's okay.
I only said that you get to play. There's a way that people look at the world differently through a filter. Is that? And you play a single mom in that one as well.
No, I'm not. I'm
Damn
not
it.
a single mom, but
You're a mom.
I'm a mom who, not a very good mother.
Oh, you said not a good mother.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay, I'd like to apologize to all the not good mothers out there. I don't assume you're single mothers. Oh wait, no, I'd like to
Yeah, I was-
apologize to the
I was-
single mothers. I don't assume you're. No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry.
I was married, having an affair.
Oh,
very
I'm sorry. I forgot about the
cold.
affair.
Catch more movie baiters with the Farx Brothers Wednesday morning.